Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you thought you were an expert, only to later realize that you had no idea what you were doing? Or perhaps you've met someone who was absolutely convinced of their abilities, only to watch them fail miserably? This phenomenon is more common than you might think, and it's all due to a psychological principle known as the Dunning-Kruger effect. In this video, we'll delve into the world of cognitive biases and explore why we often overestimate our abilities and how this can impact our decisions and lives.
Beyond the edge of light, where the truth is hidden, NexTerra.
The Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias that was first identified by psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger in 1999. The principle states that people who are incompetent in a particular domain tend to overestimate their own abilities and performance, while underestimating the abilities of others. This bias is not limited to a specific area of expertise, but rather can be observed in various aspects of life, from academic performance to professional skills. To understand the Dunning-Kruger effect, let's consider the following example. Imagine a person who has just started learning how to play the guitar. Despite having only a basic understanding of music theory and limited practice, they might claim to be an excellent guitarist, even going so far as to offer to teach others. This overconfidence is not necessarily a result of malicious intent, but rather a lack of self-awareness and an inability to accurately assess their own abilities. One of the key factors contributing to the Dunning-Kruger effect is the concept of metacognition, which refers to our ability to reflect on our own thought processes and evaluate our own performance. People who are incompetent in a particular domain often lack the metacognitive skills to recognize their own limitations and mistakes. As a result, they may become overly confident in their abilities, as they are unable to see the flaws in their own thinking. Another factor that contributes to the Dunning-Kruger effect is the role of feedback. When we receive feedback from others, it can help us to adjust our self-assessment and gain a more accurate understanding of our abilities. However, people who are incompetent in a particular domain may be less likely to seek out feedback, or may even become defensive when confronted with criticism. This lack of feedback can reinforce their overconfidence, as they are not forced to confront the reality of their own limitations. The Dunning-Kruger effect can have significant consequences, both in our personal and professional lives. For example, in the workplace, an employee who overestimates their abilities may take on tasks that are beyond their capabilities, leading to mistakes and errors. In academic settings, students who are overconfident in their abilities may not seek out help when they need it, leading to poor grades and a lack of understanding of the material. In addition to these practical consequences, the Dunning-Kruger effect can also have a significant impact on our mental health and well-being. When we overestimate our abilities, we may set ourselves up for disappointment and frustration when we inevitably fail to meet our own expectations. This can lead to a range of negative emotions, including anxiety, depression, and shame. So, how can we avoid falling victim to the Dunning-Kruger effect? The first step is to develop a growth mindset, recognizing that our abilities can be developed and improved through effort and learning. This involves being open to feedback and criticism and seeking out opportunities to learn and grow. It's also important to be aware of our own limitations and biases, and to be willing to admit when we don't know something. Another strategy for avoiding the Dunning-Kruger effect is to seek out diverse perspectives and feedback from others. This can help us to gain a more accurate understanding of our abilities and limitations, and to identify areas where we need to improve. Additionally, surrounding ourselves with people who are supportive and willing to provide constructive feedback can help us to stay grounded and avoid overconfidence. In conclusion, the Dunning-Kruger effect is a pervasive cognitive bias that can have significant consequences in our personal and professional lives. By understanding the principles behind this bias and taking steps to develop a growth mindset and seek out feedback and diverse perspectives, we can avoid falling victim to overconfidence and develop a more accurate understanding of our abilities. By doing so, we can make better decisions, achieve greater success, and cultivate a more positive and realistic sense of self. The Dunning-Kruger effect also has implications for education and training. Educators and trainers can help to mitigate the effects of this bias by providing clear and accurate feedback and by encouraging students to reflect on their own thought processes and evaluate their own performance. Additionally, educators can help to foster a growth mindset in their students by emphasizing the importance of effort and learning and by providing opportunities for students to learn from their mistakes. In the context of personal development, the Dunning-Kruger effect highlights the importance of self-awareness and humility. By recognizing our own limitations and biases, we can take the first step towards personal growth and improvement. This involves being willing to ask for help, to seek out feedback and criticism, and to be open to new ideas and perspectives. By doing so, we can develop a more accurate understanding of ourselves and our abilities, and cultivate a more positive and realistic sense of self. Furthermore, the Dunning-Kruger effect has implications for leadership and management. Leaders who are aware of this bias can take steps to mitigate its effects by providing clear and accurate feedback to their team members and by encouraging a culture of openness and transparency. This can help to foster a growth mindset within the organization and to promote a culture of continuous learning and improvement. In addition, the Dunning-Kruger effect can have significant consequences in the context of decision-making. When we overestimate our abilities, we may make decisions that are based on incomplete or inaccurate information, leading to poor outcomes. By recognizing the potential for this bias, we can take steps to mitigate its effects by seeking out diverse perspectives and feedback, and by being willing to reconsider our decisions in light of new information. In conclusion, the Dunning-Kruger effect is a complex and multifaceted phenomenon that can have significant consequences in our personal and professional lives. By understanding the principles behind this bias and taking steps to develop a growth mindset and seek out feedback and diverse perspectives, we can avoid falling victim to overconfidence and develop a more accurate understanding of our abilities. By doing so, we can make better decisions, achieve greater success, and cultivate a more positive and realistic sense of self. The Dunning-Kruger effect is a powerful reminder of the importance of humility and self-awareness in our personal and professional lives. By recognizing our own limitations and biases, we can take the first step towards personal growth and improvement. This involves being willing to ask for help, to seek out feedback and criticism, and to be open to new ideas and perspectives. By doing so, we can develop a more accurate understanding of ourselves and our abilities, and cultivate a more positive and realistic sense of self. In the final analysis, the Dunning-Kruger effect is a call to action, a reminder that we all have the potential to grow and improve, but that this growth requires effort, humility, and a willingness to learn. By embracing this mindset, we can overcome the limitations of our own biases and achieve greater success in all areas of our lives. Whether in our personal or professional lives, the Dunning-Kruger effect is a powerful reminder of the importance of self-awareness, humility, and a growth mindset, and the potential for growth and improvement that lies within us all.